let's take a look at an all too familiar concept, populating some legacy or on-premises data source from a cloud-based workflow. So think of all of those tasks in automation, in workflow, where you've had to break the automation chain to go and do something in an application that said workflow doesn't have the capability to reach. Things like Access, Excel, on-premises legacy systems. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of them. So Chris Co have approached me and said they're loving their onboarding workflow, but they have a security pass which is actually just an Excel register. So it's just a list of employee names and security pass numbers. When they complete the security pass issuing, they log the number of the pass in this Excel spreadsheet, so they know which employee it belongs to. The number is printed on the pass. We've probably all seen them, we've probably been issued them, but they want to automate that part of the process. So we can add that to the existing onboarding workflow and take a look at how it can call that Excel spreadsheet using Nintex Gateway, Nintex RPA. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is build a task. Right? I want to issue a task to my security administrator, the door pass custodian, the admin assistant, receptionist, whoever is responsible. So I've got my workflow, my onboarding workflow kicks off with a form, puts an item into SharePoint, sends some tasks around payroll and HR, generates a custom contract for signature through Nintex Sign, Adobe Sign, provisions the new user in Azure Active Directory and populates a SQL database for payroll. And then it does some issuing of certs, issuing of usernames, passwords, populates a message in Teams. It does quite a lot of stuff before it kicks off some induction workflows. So I want to simply add a new branch to this ever-growing workflow, and I'm going to call it Door Pass. Now within that Door Pass process, I want to assign a task. Now, unlike ordinary tasks, this one's going to provide no opportunity to approve or reject. It's a single stage task, so I'm just going to remove that multiple outcomes. It's simply a go and do this, create this pass. So I'm just going to give the task a name. Now this is just going to be Door Pass for that individual new user. Let's just copy that because we'll make that the subject line of the email that's received. And we'll call this the new user workflow, which is the reply to or sender display address. I'm going to select a user. This is going to be the same person each time in my organization. So I'm going to use the assignee lookup option here. And let's just paste the subject line into the body for ease of build. I'm going to design the form. So when they receive the notification, they have to log in to this form or open up this form. And what I want is to provide the door pass number. So I'm going to drag in that number control and just door pass number. And we're going to drag in a label just so that they know the form that they're opening. This is what they're going to see. Submit, we can say complete, and apply changes. So I've got my task. This is going to form part of the onboarding. So they'll have been onboarded, they'll have come in, they'll have visited the relevant people. So let's just change the state here. Rather than go into the induction checklists, let's issue the door pass. And then we can go into the induction checklist. So I'll just copy this action and paste. So really quick and easy to add those new steps as well. So I've got my task. Now, after the task has been completed, we have to populate the Excel spreadsheet with that door pass number. Now, ordinarily, that would be a person opening up that spreadsheet, punching in the employee name and the address. But we've built a small RPA bot to go and do that function. So the RPA bot is going to be called. Workflow is going to pass two variables to it. It's going to pass a door pass number that has come from that task form, and it's going to pass an employee name field, which is running through the workflow from the initiation form. It's going to open Excel. It's then going to punch those values in. So we can close RPA, and we can use our Nintex RPA job to perform that task. So let's start this RPA job. And I've already configured the gateway. I've already done a video on how to do that. It's on the YouTube channel, so just have a look. It's pretty straightforward stuff. And we've created the job in RPA Central. So if I open up RPA Central, my job has already been created. Create a job, point it to the bot flow that I actually want to run. So the bot called door passes is what I'm going to look for here. Once it recognizes that there are variables that have been created within that bot, I'm going to be able to match those up. So I've got my two variables here that actually correspond to the two input variables in Nintex RPA. I want to populate them both. So my door pass number has actually come from the task. That's the number that came from the last assign a task here. So when that admin assistant pushes that in to the system, we want that bot to call, and then my employee name is simply populated from the initial form. First name, last name. It could be email address if you want, it could be dates, it can be times, so on and so forth. So I've configured that part. Now what we've added here is simply after my contract has been generated, my user has been provisioned, we're going to pass that off to the door pass stage to perform the task. So let's publish the workflow. And we'll kick off a new user. So a new user form has opened up. I'm now going to add a new user account. All right, welcome back. So we've gone through the full end-to-end onboarding solution. If you want to see that, there's a link in the description. But I want to trim this down. I want to focus on the RPA module. So we've got that new user workflow task that's been submitted to complete John Smith's security pass. So let's just punch in the security pass number. Open up that form and take a quick look at the pass. The number that I need on here is 5558. That's John's pass and complete. So that task has now been completed successfully. What we should now see is that RPA job kickoff. So in just a second, RPA is going to open up for me and it's going to perform the task. It's going to open that workbook. It's going to find the last row on Excel because we want to create a new row. It's going to put in the employee name and the door pass number. And with that, we've successfully updated Excel from a cloud-based workflow using Nintex RPA. Thanks for watching.